as a partner in Formula E from 2023 on.
I mean, you already mentioned it. I mean, for us it's an honor because it is a great name. We got a common history, and so for us it's a real pleasure that we have 2 more cars on the grid. You know, 2 more 99X. But yes, it's a real honor to work together with Avalanche Andretti. Obviously, we know each other for a long time, and so we're really looking forward to that.
If I may just add this, there have been sorts of rumors in the media, as is always the case, lots of weeks ago, let's say, put it like this. When actually did you start with the discussions about this partnership? Around time frame?
I think it went back to Saudi Arabia season 7. This was when we first had a conversation about where it was when we knew that BMW had informed us that they were leaving, and we were starting to think about what was the best solution for us as a team. And the very first people I spoke to was Porsche Motorsport. So that kind of, I sort of looked up and down the pit lane and thought, where should I start these conversations? Not knowing where any of them would go. And really from the outset, we found some very quickly, we found some common ground. Things that we were very passionate about. Not just the racing side, but why we go racing, how we go racing, our approach to Formula E, what was important to us beyond just the engineering. So we found some really good alignment there, and those conversations just evolved through the course of last year, and things got a lot more serious towards the end of the year. And very quickly, I think we came to what I would say is a baseline understanding of what it was that we wanted to achieve together. And from there, we got to here.
Yeah. And maybe to add this, it's even so, yes, we are working in a highly professional environment, and yes, in some ways it's business. But I think it's very important that you got the same attitude, you got the same approach, and I said it earlier on the stage, you have both this passion, and I always like to say, I mean, Porsche for sure is not participating in the series just to fill up the grid, I said it, I think I said it in Rome, it's, nothing against the Olympic idea, but that's definitely not what we are here for. And I think that's something we share. And that's very important. If two brands, if 2 companies work together, I think they have to have the same view of the thing, they have to have the same approach. And for us, this fitted very well together. And you see the result today.
We're going to jump to the project.
Hi, talking really quickly Thomas, I wonder if you could just elaborate a bit on the advantages that we will have for Porsche to have a customer. Extra cars, extra data, extra test data as well. What are the advantages?
Well, I think you mentioned it's extra data, extra exchanges. You can exchange data, you can work together, and it just gives you a better possibility to get it right. Because don't forget, yes, the car, all cars are very similar. They differ between Porsche, but it's about getting the car 100% right for every weekend. To handle everything, and it's really the little bits and pieces. It's so competitive here, and for sure it will help that if there are 2 cars more on the grid, and we will have a certain exchange of data, which we have to define in the next weeks in details. But this should be helpful, and I'm sure. I don't know. I'm sure that this will be beneficial for both companies, for both parties.
Just to follow up on that, Porsche has committed to 4 million for the first 2 years officially.
Yeah.
Maybe for you, Roger, does that not think about maybe back a bit, knowing that Porsche might only take up 2 years?
No, I mean, we were very aware of that from the outset. And, whilst it did factor into some of the discussions, we feel that as the partnership progresses, we just need
A question for you, Mr. Laundenbach. Porsche will have another big involvement in Formula E with this new partnership. I have a question for you about Formula E and Formula One. How Porsche can be able to work in this big involvement and another team in Formula E and of course with the probation to go in Formula One.
Well, that's quite easy for the boat because we are involved in Formula E and there's nothing decided concerning Formula One. So that's something that might happen, but it's not a secret. Looking at it, yes, nothing is confirmed, nothing is signed, so it's far too early to say anything.
As we're here in a small group, I can show you can give us some hints about the drivers, which is always interesting. You haven't communicated on this yet. Yeah, all buddies here. But
We will have to.
Is it solely up to you, or does Porsche have some, let's say, some kind of influence on the driver choice for the
I mean, in the spirit of the cooperation between the two parties, we are openly discussing everything. But ultimately, the drivers for Andretti are decided by Andretti. So that's how it's going to be. We certainly will discuss every driver option with Porsche because that there could be conflicts of interest that we have to bear in mind when we approach the driver market. So for us, it's just an open discussion, and we've made no decisions as to how that's going to shape up. We've obviously got a very good driver pairing right now, so we're very happy with them. So we'll just see what happens over the next few weeks, where it takes us.
I think there's nothing to add. It's exactly like what you said. 100%. I mean, we will always have a respectful conversation and for sure also touching that topic. But in the end, it's a decision of Avalanche Andretti which drivers they take on board. Same for us. And I think we got two very strong drivers right now. Can't say anything about next year. We'll see.
Thank you. Philip, one more?
First of all, congrats to you both. Andretti has a lot of projects. You have a lot of projects. Is there maybe room for more cooperation?
I would say there was always room for more cooperation, but so far up to that point, we have talks concerning the Formula E, or we have to do with Formula E. I can't say what the future will bring. That's a totally different thing. But it's for sure it's always been some discussion.
And I think going back to the spirit of the partnership, it's just been an open conversation. So if opportunities arise that are right for both companies, then I'm sure we'll talk about it. But we've both got our own independent racing programs as well, which are very different to each other. So I think they can be complementary to each other. I don't think they'll detract from each other. So if something comes up and it's right, then we'll obviously look at it.
In Formula E, Porsche will work together with Andretti. In another motorsport project, Porsche works together with Penske.
That's the correct information.
Yes, just to make that sure, as you don't tell me anything about the drivers to get this right. To me, and probably to some of fans and readers, this looks, I don't want to say weird, but unusual, that one manufacturer works with two big families and two big companies from the US motorsport together. Is that something that you considered when you discussed with Andretti, or did you also talk to Penske, not to mention Penske too often here? And how is that from the US side? How do US motorsport fans, which are so passionate, I noticed, how do they see it when Porsche works together with Penske and also with Andretti?
I mean, I think we can also look at it in the other direction as well, because Andretti works with another OEM in IndyCar racing. So you see both sides of it. So what Andretti has always been very, very good at is having the ability to work on works programs or customer programs with different OEMs, but respecting the confidentiality of each partner's data, the integrity of the programs and all the rest of it. So I'm very sure that it's very similar for Porsche. I mean, obviously Penske and Andretti are very strong competitors in IndyCar racing. I mean, we're racing them this weekend in the Indy GP. We don't talk about our other racing programs with our other competitors, only us. So it's just we're very good
diplomacy with chose conflicts. Here, that's a different championship. We are looking for a partner that we think is the right one to work with, and also from your side. So, but there's no conflict at all. And don't forget, everybody involved, highly professional organization. So for us, definitely not a conflict, not a problem.
Thank you all so much for coming tonight.